No, that's
All right, now you're live.
I'm live?
Now you are,
That's
yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry.
You know, my wife gets mad at me if I sit there because, you know, the
It's
good
a
thing
tick.
about going bald. Sorry, you're live with Ty, Joe Bullard Automotive. I'm Ty Bullard. And I'm telling you a real personal story about my baldness. Obviously, I inherited it. Clearly, if you look at my father. But, you know, the good news about going bald, and I'm looking at the person filming this, is you don't realize it. Like, I think
You
I
can't
got
see
plenty
it.
of hair because all I see is the hair here. But it's when you get in that mirror where you can see the mirror in the back, I'm like, oh my gosh. You know, so it, like, you look at it once like a year. And so I always scratch my head like this, and so I'm conscious of that now. Even though the people that cut my hair give me this Rogaine stuff, and it ain't really working yet. So, welcome. Sorry for that little blurb about personal life. So, welcome today to Live with Ty. I think they've called this. Coming to you this Thursday. And so we are, I guess it's May 30th. Is that correct?
It is May 30th.
Everybody's kind of into summer, so welcome summer. It's certainly heat-wise is here to stay. But we're glad you joined us today. Hopefully, we've got a few people that joined us. But at the end of the day, hopefully some people will watch this. And I wanted to share something today that I thought's unique. It's kind of this time of year coming up in our company. And so I wanted to share it with you because I love to brag on our people. I'm not a big bragger. Obviously, I don't like to, you know, go to the world on stuff we do as a company and all that stuff. I just don't think that's the way you do it. I don't think it's the right thing to do necessarily. I don't think it's the wrong thing to do, but that's just not kind of who we are. But there's one thing we do as a company that I do want to brag on our people with, and that's what I want to take a little time today to brag about. And this is this idea, we came up with the idea about 3 years ago of kind of a charity, what we call a charity board. We couldn't come up with any better name, so that's what we came up with, and it stuck. But we've kind of created what we call a charity board in our company. There's about, 10 to 15 people probably that serve on it. They are all frontline people. I don't think there's a manager on it. I don't think a manager can be on it. And so I just felt like, you know, as a company throughout the years, we've always tried to encourage our people to kind of give back and, you know, take a little about what they make and serve our community in some form or fashion, whatever that looked like. But we really kind of put a stake in the ground about 3 years ago and tried something a little different. And so I felt like if we could include them in the decision-making process, that I felt like we could really create more buy-in and more more funds for the community. At the end of the day, I'll always say our role is to help the community. It's not something we're, you know, it's often an obligation. I mean, it's part of who we are. It's part of what we need to do as a business in this community. We must support it. It's not if you had a good one or if you think you can. You know, it's something we really feel obligated to do, and so it's important to us. And so, this charity board was formed. We kind of created. You know, we found these people to really represent each department. We had a kind of a person represented from each department of our company. So I think there was probably about 15 or so people that serve on it. We've been doing it for about 3 years now. And so the process does look like this. And so, and this has nothing to do with the company really. We just kind of had the idea and ran with it. But so they serve on the board. And so each of them kind of bring a nonprofit organization, a charitable organization in our community, in our local community, that they feel like's making a difference, in which, you know, there's hundreds of them. There's probably thousands of them, actually. But their job is to kind of go back to their department, kind of get a feel for what they think we ought to support, and then they kind of present it to the board. All of them kind of present their charities. They narrow it down to 3, to a final 3 out of that 15 or so. They narrow it down to a final 3, and then they select one on an annual basis that we as a company, but let me make sure I'm clear on that, the people of our company support. Not saying the company doesn't support them in a degree, but at the end of the day, they decide the one charitable organization, the one organization that they want to give to for the next year. It starts in July. They go through this process. They wrap it up in June, and we start July 1 with whatever that one is for a calendar year from June to July 1. And so it's really been a neat process. And, you know, it's a little kind of risky on my part. Not risky, but it's a little vulnerable just because I really don't have a say in it. I really stay out of, I really want it to be who they want to support. But this is the coolest thing of all this. And this is why I'm comfortable talking about it. is that it literally is the people of this company's money. It's not the company's money. It is the people of this company's money that they are sacrificing, that they're giving to this one organization. So for the last 3 years, the first 2 years, the winner was St. Mary's Home. So for 2 years, we supported St. Mary's Home. The people of this company supported St. Mary's Home. And then the third year, this last year, it was the YMCA, the Heron Chandler YMCA, right there on Downtown Avenue, and Downtown Boulevard, whatever it is. Right over there from our dealerships. I'm pointing like you can know where I'm pointing. Sorry, I'm facing west. But so that was this year's, and it's coming up. They're about to go through the selection process to figure out what the fourth year is going to be. But it has been so cool to actually see the buy-in from the people. And I have some examples. I have some picture frames that I want to show you. But I think there's a lot of, first of all, let me state this. There is way more than one great organization to support. There's way more than 10. There's 100 great organizations out there doing awesome stuff. I mean, awesome stuff. And we need every one of them. What we've tried to force ourselves to do is to narrow it down to one. That was the only thing that I was pretty hard about, was I want to narrow it down to one. Force us to really get, force ourselves to really get good at saying no so that we can say yes to one and really, really make an impact to that one place. And I will tell you, these last 3 years, we've raised over $60,000 for these organizations. And I'm telling you, and that is from the people of Joe Bullard. It's not from Joe Bullard. It's from the people of Joe Bullard. And that is worth celebrating. And I just give y'all a kudos to the people of Joe Bullard for doing that. Because that's really walking the walk. That has made a difference in stuff for these organizations that they maybe never could have done. And we've given the ability to do it. Y'all have given them the ability to do it. And it's just awesome. It's worth celebrating. And so that's why I want to take a moment today and create, have a session go towards this. So I'm going to show a couple picture frames of a couple of the projects just to kind of give you an idea of what stuff they're doing. This is a picture, if you can see it, of a waxed floor. Well, you can say, what good is that doing the community, a freshly waxed floor? Totally legit question. But this is the floor at the YMCA this year. This is one of the needs they had, was they needed to strip the whole floor and re-wax it. And this is something the people of Joe Bullard paid for. It's done. It's created. Granted, did that help the community? Absolutely it did. This made a difference to the YMCA, and it made a difference to the people that use that. And so that is one of our things that the money's gone to. That normally, if you came in here and told me, hey Ty, we need you to go restrip the floor, pay to restrip the floor, I'd be like, yeah, that's not real exciting. That's not, I want to go drill a well in Africa and have water to people who never had clean water. I mean, that's really cool. But at the end of the day, man, right here in this community, there is needs that this charity board and the people of Joe Bullard are serving. So this is important. And so that's one. That's an example. Here is an example of a bedroom. This is a bedroom set. So this is actually from St. Mary's Home. And so St. Mary's, and I don't know if you know a lot about St. Mary's or not, but it's a home for people that don't, kids that are abandoned, kids that don't have a home. And so St. Mary's takes them in. And what the people of Joe Bullard were able to do is they repurposed this whole bedroom. They redid this whole bedroom. You see sheets, you see pillows, you see things on the wall, you see furniture, you see, sayings, all these little things. That is something that we were able to do last year for St. Mary's Home that this money went to. And man,
made a home for it.
You make it homey. And that's important. I take it for granted. I take it for granted when I walk in my bedroom every day, for sure. But to be able to provide this and be a part of this, it's just really cool. And so that's another example of what, we've been able to do through the people here. And so I thought that was pretty cool. Lastly, this is another picture of kind of a random picture, but it has a TV, and you see some furniture around the TV, you see some floor, you see a corner of a chair. So this is St. Mary's room. This is the family room at St. Mary, the boys' family room, I think. I think it's the boys' family room at St. Mary's. And so we were able to redo that room. So we gave them those TV. We actually had employees our body shop built that piece of furniture that the TV's sitting in. We have a guy, you can barely see the chair here. We have a guy here that's extremely talented with recovering chairs. We had an employee, he did that on his own time. He recovered those chairs and did that for St. Mary's. We redid the floor, that's new flooring. We painted those walls, those walls have been painted. I don't know if the new AC window unit was ours or not, to be honest, but it probably was, but I don't know if it was. But you just see the difference that are so small, that could be looked at as insignificant, that's such a big deal to those people. And by focusing down to one organization, that we were really able to make a difference. And I think that's probably been the hardest thing to do, because there's so many good ones. And I tell them that. And I actually talked to the board the other day. I said, I know it is so hard to say, well, why don't we just support the top 3? Well, why can't we just support all of them? Why can't we just... I get it, and it is hard, but I will tell you that I really truly believe there's a power in the word no, and at the end of the day, it has allowed us to say yes to one, and it's been just amazing, the difference. St. Mary's, I know, we've seen a huge difference there, and then the YMCA this year, which I played there as a kid. I was on a little t-ball team, right over here, and so it's just places that you've grown up around. And I think that's also important, that we support a local place. Not that there's not international needs, and there's not national needs, and there's not regional needs, or even within the greater area. But this helps our people focus locally, right here, where they raise their families, where they eat and live every day and do business. I think it's been an important thing. So it's really just something that's taken off. It's a big deal. And I really tell these people that serve on this board to take it seriously, because you really are you're making a huge difference, but you're going to continue to make a huge difference for the one organization that gets selected each year. It's a big deal. And so I can't wait to see who it is this year, because I just know that we're going to make such a big difference. And the people of Joe Bullard are, not me, not the company, it's the people that you interact with, that work in here every day, that they take a little out of their check each week and put it towards this, and it's made such a huge difference. So that's our charity board at Joe Bullard. It's a little different strategy, but it's certainly, I think, making a big difference in our community, one organization at a time. And at the end of the day, you can't help everybody, but you can help somebody, and that's important that we help that somebody. So I appreciate you listening. I don't know if this was helpful or not, but I know it was something that we're passionate about. And I'm just honored and happy to share with you, because I love celebrating our people. I have no problem bragging on our people, and that's really what I want to do today, is to really honor them and recognize them for all they're doing for this community that we live in, that I'm raising my kids in, that we have a business in, that we all live in. So kudos to the charity board and to the people of Joe Bullard for what you do to this community and what you're going to continue to do. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have a great day and a great weekend and a great end of the month. Thank you.